What's up, everyone? Staniel Smooth here. I want to show you guys a cool thing we're doing. This podcast is sponsored by Canada Dips, the newest lineup to the dip game, but in CBD form. The Canada Dips lineup features products made for every man's lifestyle. All tins are proudly crafted from the hills of Humboldt County in California. It's filled with flavor and will give you that good vibe that CBD brings to the room. So what are you waiting for? Use the promo code BELLYUP20 in all caps at CanadaDips.com for 20% off your next order. That's BELLYUP20 at CanadaDips.com.
It's time to BS.
So we're just going to get right into it. The title of the episode here shows it right out of the gate. Early this morning, well, in Jack's case, later this morning, because, you know, you're in California. Yeah, I do my daily scroll through Twitter and stuff like that, and then received some, one would call it, disturbing and heartbreaking news. Former Flames forward and current Columbus Blue Jackets forward Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew were, Jesus donut, unfortunately struck by a drunk driver and were killed on impact early this morning.
Happened late last night, I believe.
It was late last night, early this morning. And pronounced dead early this morning. Like, very early this morning. And
yeah, what happened was the incident happened last night, and it was rumored, and it was a complete and utter disregard of morals and ethics by the reporter who did so.
Yeah.
And
complete utter disregard.
Yeah, and the official word was later. The official statement from the Blue Jackets was posted this morning. So my heart hurts for not only the Gaudreau family, but his kids, like Johnny's kids. The man was 31. The man was 31, and there's nothing you could say that could just help. No, you're right.
There's
absolutely nothing you can say.
And there's nothing realistic I can say, like, in terms of what that drunk driver deserves, because it's 2024. You shouldn't be drinking and driving. The fact that man was intoxicated to the level that he was is downright infuriating and embarrassing. I don't even need to go into details of just how pissed off I am for the family. Because two innocent lives were lost because of that dip fuck's reckless choices. There's no other better way to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, in this day and age, you should be calling an Uber. You should be getting a ride. Hell, if the bar is close enough, you can walk home. Like,
yeah.
And I probably shouldn't even say that because, like, that's kind of a little bit dangerous in its own regard. But you know, you get what I'm saying.
No,
like,
you're not wrong.
Should have no there's no excuse, no reason to be behind the wheel of a car, even when you're buzzed. Like, it's so stupid. And it's like, because that man couldn't call a ride or whatever, this happened. This whole situation happened. There's kids that are going to have to grow up without their dad.
That hurts more than anything. Like,
that's even worse than just like losing a hockey player. It's like families are affected by this.
Oh.
They were in town. They were in New Jersey for a wedding this weekend.
Yeah, I can't imagine what their sister's feeling. Oh my God. Let's also not forget the wedding that we're going to was for the sister of those two.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like done. Like, what was supposed to be the happiest day of her life is now without question the worst day of her life. All because some moron couldn't understand that, hey, maybe I shouldn't drive tonight. I understand, like, human intelligence to a degree has gotten infinitely better over the last, I don't know, several decades. We can go with that. But for some reason, we're still making the same stupid choices. Hey, don't drink and drive. Hey, don't do this, don't do that. That's stupid. That's idiotic. You shouldn't need, us to dipshits, and we are professional dipshits, let's be real here. Jokes in there.
Yeah, we make lighthearted jokes all the time. We like take digs at people every now and then, but we don't, every now and then it's important to kind of sit down and realize,
Yeah, it's important for us to sit down and like reflect on just our lives as a whole, because 2 innocent lives were lost because of one life doing something idiotic and stupid. And those are my thoughts on that. That's my finishing thoughts on that, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, we basically share the same thing. Just don't drive drunk. Period. Don't
do
if you're
stupid
buzzed,
shit. Don't do stupid shit.
Make sure you just call a ride. Do whatever else you can do to get home with that doesn't involve you getting behind the wheel. Call a ride, call a friend, call an Uber. Just don't get behind the wheel drunk, because this kind of thing can happen and it can throw so many lives apart. And yeah.
What a start to this show. Holy shit. Jack, how are you doing besides all of that? It is...
I mean, football's close. Football's really, really close.
Confirmed. Jack's soundboard still works.
We gotta turn up the energy a little bit now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Department of BS. I'm coming to you from the lovely beaches of Long Island, New York, part of the Bell Sports and Belly Up Media Networks. I am Staniel Smooth. That's Jack Mitchell coming to us from sunny California, and this is Time to BS, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, good fucking Lord. So, we got that out of the gate. That wasn't the most emotional thing we've had to do on this podcast history, but it's definitely up there because Johnny Gaudreau was such a good player.
He really was.
For such a long time, too.
Yeah. And like we said, it's more about the hockey, or it's more than about the hockey, but yeah, like, God, it's hard to put into words. It's just like we couldn't really, we struggle a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, it's we hate to use the term "it is what it is," but there's nothing really you can say that would help in that regard. to cleanse or to ease the pain in that way. But enough with the depressing talk, because then this is going to become The View really quickly in terms of depression and shit like that. So
yeah, we want to like turn up the energy a little bit here. It's not to like disregard what happened. We don't want to. We're not like that, but we do want to, try and make you guys smile a little bit. So
we're two professionals, but not to the degree of like Howard Stern or Michael. Bad example. Or Michael Kay or Colin Cowherd in terms of talk radio, or not even radio. We're just two dipshits recording a podcast.
We're two dipshits with soundboards who love talking about sports and who love spamming an Old Spice sound button.
That clip was so fucking funny. I listen to that clip every other day.
It was a good one. It was a good one.
That might be on my top 10 of my favorite sounds ever in the history of this show. So, one of my absolute favorites was I don't know how far back I have to go. It was like episode 6 of the show's history. Mike, who's been on the show plenty of times, and Kyle, who I don't think you've met.
I don't believe so.
But he was a former guest of the show for a number of years. And this was like 2019, 2018 or something like that. And I think I was like obsessing. A Long Island delicacy here is a bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup on poppy seed roll or an egg everything bagel. Phenomenal. Delightful. And it's something in the water that like really helps out with the bread and stuff. I don't know what it is, but it tastes so good.
That sounds good.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
I don't know. Well, I don't normally like everything bagels, but
just on a poppy seed roll is like all you need, and with a little bit of butter to help out with the roll as well. It's so good. But I pissed off Kyle one day because I was like, "This is before the microphones. This is before the roadcaster. This is way before that. We were recording this shit through Skype."
Back in those ancient days of Skype.
Look how far we've came. Just perfect example.
Yeah, now we're in StreamYard, yapping at each other. Higher quality stuff.
To be
and
fair,
we got soundboards.
To be fair, this is delightful. It's fucking great. But the whole point of the story was I pissed off Kyle with my choice of bacon, egg, and cheese because dipshit decided to put turkey bacon and spinach instead of ketchup and regular bacon. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, and it was like a little bit of coleslaw to it, and it pissed him off. He's like, repeat the sandwich you just fucking said, please. And he's a little older than me, so it makes it even funnier. Oh, God. It was a rejoin sound for the longest time, too. It was so good. But, we got a very interesting show for you all today. We have
really interesting. We had a topic change overnight too. Like one of the topics that I suggested to you, and we'll get into it later, was Brandon Ayuk. I was going to talk about how like there was a whole collapse going on over there in San Francisco. And to be fair, I think there kind of still might be, but I'm going to have to elaborate more once we touch on that topic. But it was just, it's kind of funny how that overnight I was like saying, we got to talk about this. We got to think like what happened. And then the next day, Ayuk gets extended. So
can we also agree here that was a ridiculous overpayment?
Yeah, I think so.
We're going to agree
on
that, right?
More on that once we touch on it. More on that once we touch on it.
Let's touch up on that because we'll just wing this whole thing as we usually do.
Fair enough. Yeah, we usually do. We like come up with a whole list and order of stuff, and then like we end up just winging it. So,
but we will finish up the Time to BS NFL preview series today with the AFC North. Last episode I did the NFC North, and I'm just gonna say I picked Detroit and Chicago to make the playoffs. In the NFC North. With that being said, we finish off and round off the preview series with the AFC North, and we'll do that later. And And then we'll figure out a way before the season starts on Thursday to get a whole slew of numbskulls together to do a massive playoff prediction show. So, chaos.
I'm going to look for one of those websites that lets you like predict the entire season week by week, so you can get like every team's record in there, and I can make like legitimate predictions. So
you're gonna go hardcore snob.
I might do that. I might end up doing that. Yeah, not just for this, but like just for like in general. Like I want to get my predictions out there.
We're gonna be brutal during the season. You know that, right?
It's gonna be nuts.
We're gonna be brutal, the both of us.
The thing about these preseason predictions too is that, like, I mean, obviously now's the time when you want to make them, but they're all based on before the season has been played, and then when the year goes on, week by week by week, there are so many different factors that change. Someone can get hurt, someone can get traded, some other stuff can happen, or a team that we thought was crap coming into the year is suddenly playing like the second coming of the greatest show on turf. So you get what I mean, though.
We've seen that too many times.
We have. So, but all I'm saying is that these predictions can change. Like I might make this preseason prediction. I might have a team going like they might like. By this point, I would say, they're going to lose week 4 by like 20 points. And then we get to week 4 right before that game and things have changed. And I'm thinking, okay, now they might lose, they might win by like
30
blowout fashion. It's like, it's crazy.
Did you get YouTube TV by chance?
I briefly had it.
So
our family briefly used it.
I got YouTube TV just recently. And the reason why is the Sunday ticket now breaks down into monthly payments. Yay.
That's good.
That's phenomenal.
That's awesome. That's
so good. So I don't know if that was part of the Supreme Court case that happened a while ago, but I'm pretty sure it was part of that reason. But anyway, I digress. Brandon Ayuk has signed for a $140 million extension for 4 years?
Something like that.
For a one-dimensional receiver. Is that
tricky
wrong?
To say. I think one-dimensional receiver is a little bit wrong. Because I think I do think he is their number one receiver. I think he's their best guy.
No, he is.
The problem I have with this, or it's not necessarily a problem, I guess it's more just like the problem that San Francisco faces is they're still in cap hell. They were, I think in 2025, they were $38 million over the cap before paying Ayuk, before restructuring, what's his name, Trent Williams' contract, before giving Brock Purdy the money that he's going to want. And then they just throw more money at Ayuk.
To the Google machine, Jack.
So I think what this might, I don't need to go to the Google machine. I think what this might just end up being is just a situation of we'll deal with it later. But the problem is by the time you deal with it, you're inevitably going to need to let some players go. One of their key contributors on this team is going to have to be let go in order if they want to keep Brandon Ayuk long term. And I have a feeling
it's Debo.
That might be somebody like Debo.
It's going to be
or
Debo.
That might be somebody like Jawan Jennings, I like Jawan Jennings. He's a good receiver.
The problem here, to cut you off, is that Debo Samuel is better than the both of you just mentioned, Jawan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk.
No, he's not better than.
You don't think
Ayuk.
so?
I don't think he's better than Ayuk. I think Jawan and Ayuk are their top two, honestly.
But Debo does more in terms of running the ball.
Every now and then, yes, but he's also like they got it to the point where it was pretty predictable. He kind of stopped doing the running play stuff because it became pretty obvious that if he lined up a play in the backfield, he was going to get the ball.
Yeah, good point.
Everybody knew it was going to happen. So
let's also break. So it's $140 million a year for 4 years, which comes down to $35 million a year. If you're planning on making him your number one receiver, it's absolutely worth it. But if he's your number two, to the aforementioned Debo Samuel,
which he's not,
I might be on you. I might be with you on that one.
I'm looking at their depth chart right now.
Because they drafted Pearsall. They drafted Ricky Pearsall.
Pearsall's obviously not going to be the number one.
No, he's not the number one.
He'll be a piece going forward.
He might end up being the Debo replacement. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, he could.
Are you on ourlads.com?
There's a realistic
That's a
chance.
great site.
Which website?
Ourlads.com. That's the best site. That's the site I got to.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. But yeah, Trent Williams is holding out.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is that like, I don't know. Maybe they'll figure out I think if this is a situation where he just wants a restructure and not really an extension, then I guess they can make it work.
Isn't he 35?
The issue is though, like they kind of have to get it done because they don't have any other pieces on the O-line. It is literally Trent Williams and everybody else. And if they lose a piece if they lose Trent Williams, if he's out for like more than a few weeks, then you're going to see pretty quickly that like how badly they're going to miss him. And it can really screw over Brock Purdy too, because Brock Purdy under pressure isn't the greatest guy in the world.
No one is.
More often than not, if he's under pressure and he gets the ball up, it's going to come down to the luck of the draw. And that's the thing is about the Niners too, is that they kind of have that ball luck a bit more than some other teams do. Like they kind of have that, like they'll catch the ball in situations where it should be dropped, or they'll have a lot more like defensively too. This isn't really their receivers, but like I've seen it happen in way too many Niners games where like the other team will get what should have been an interception, and then like or it'll be like a tip pass. Like Brock Purdy will throw a tip pass and like it should be intercepted, but then the guy drops it. But then the other QB throws a tip pass and it goes right into one of the defender's hands.
Shout out to the Detroit Lions in the 2024 NFC title game.
I mean, that too, like on offense every now and then too, it'll get if it's not incomplete, it'll get tipped off like a defender's hands and go right to one of their receivers. So
the
it's
bullshit
like,
is real.
And no one did anything. Like it should have been picked off, but it was just it just bounced right perfectly into their hands. Like that happens to the Niners more than anyone else. It really does.
Detroit wins that game if that Detroit wins that game if that doesn't
I mean,
happen.
Detroit wins the game if they just kick field goals. But
yeah.
Too many going for it on 4th and 1.
Anyway,
but yeah, no, that's pretty much how I feel. Like Ayuk was obviously their number one receiver, and they had to do that. But I don't see how you keep both. I don't see how you keep Brock Purdy while not making Trent Williams angry, and I don't see how you please Trent Williams without losing Brock Purdy. Someone's gonna have to go, and if Brock puts up another year like he did last year, he's gonna want more money than the Niners can give him.
Speaking of receivers getting extensions, CeeDee Lamb got his extension.
Yeah, that saga came to an end too.
From the Cowboys.
That kind of had to end for Dallas. Like that was one of those things where it's like, why would you not pay the guy?
Yeah. Well, it's also Jerry. Let's be honest here.
I was worried, though, honestly, about what Dallas was going to do, both in this offseason and the coming one, because it was Dak Prescott kind of sitting there on a contract year. CeeDee Lamb was kind of sitting there on a contract year, and it's like they're not really making any real moves or like direct indications to re-sign either of them. The problem is they're basically everything for that team at this point.
Here's my theory, and you might disagree with me on this one. I think they might if the Cowboys let's play the theory game. Do we like the theory game? The theory game is fun.
Sometimes, yes.
Let's play a theory game. The theory that I have concocted is this. Let's say the Cowboys on when is the trade deadline this year? November 7th? It's on a Tuesday. I know that. So it's like November 5th.
I don't know. Somewhere around like the middle of the season, week 8, week 9.
It is November 5th. Election day.
There you go. Election day and the trade day. Oh my God.
Chaos. Anyway.
Wow.
So let's throw this out there and say the Cowboys have 3 wins by the trade deadline.
3 wins by the trade deadline?
Just hear me out for a second here.
Ooh, breaking news. Adoree Jackson is signing with the Giants.
Hey, re-signed?
Reunion there.
Hey. Breaking news. I haven't used that button a lot.
No.
Anyway, but let's just throw this out there and say the Cowboys are... Dak's a free agent at the end of the year, right?
Let me verify.
Dak's a free agent at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much you want to bet that the Cowboys end up trading Dak?
I mean, that just depends on who's...
The record.
Like, the record, too, but, like, also who's, like... What other team situations are. Like, who definitively needs... What if... You got my gears turning here, and this might be a totally stupid and unrealistic situation.
I love when I get Jack's gears turning.
This might be a totally stupid and unrealistic situation. Minnesota.
They did draft J.J. McCarthy, though.
They did, but J.J. McCarthy's not playing. Here's the deal. It could be because he's on a contract year, and if Dallas doesn't want to, like, if it's pretty clear and obvious that Dallas doesn't want to keep him around, and they're struggling by that point, maybe he goes to a team like Minnesota and kind of does something like what Baker Mayfield did, where he only played out like the back half of the year with the Rams and kind of proved. I don't think it would necessarily be because in the Baker Mayfield situation, it's like, oh yeah, no, he already proved that, like,
I got a better idea.
You got a better idea? Okay. Well, let me finish my thought here. It was like a prove it deal with Baker Mayfield. It was kind of like, yeah, let me prove to everybody that I can still do it. Dak obviously doesn't need to do that. Dak's a solid quarterback, top 10 quarterback, I'd say. But I don't know. It could just be like in the case of Minnesota. I don't know how much. I don't really trust Sam Darnold that much.
No.
I would have probably trusted J.J. McCarthy, but he's not playing for his rookie year. So they could look at a rental maybe if they still want to compete. But we'll see.
I have a theory.
All right, what's your god-awful theory?
New Orleans. Aha!
Also not a god-awful theory.
So the Saints finished last season top 10 in offense and top 10 in defense with Derek Carr as their quarterback most of the season. I don't know about you. Derek Carr looks washed.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott is not. How much you want to bet the Saints go Mickey Loomis, who, by the way, I don't know how that man still has a job, but I digress. Let's say Mickey Loomis calls Jerry and say, hey, Jerry, I'll trade you a first-round pick for Dak. I'll trade you a first-round pick and then some for Dak Prescott. Who says no? Who says no?
You said that fast. Repeat again real quick.
If Mickey Loomis, the GM of the Saints, calls Jerry Jones of the Cowboys and says, hey, I will trade you X amount of draft picks or draft picks plus a player for Dak Prescott. Who says no?
I don't know. I guess it just depends on the return.
Saints are not a bad team.
No, they're not.
They're really weird. They're not a bad team.
Yeah, they're one of those, like, I don't know.
Because, let's be honest here.
I don't know why my thought process, my brain went in this direction. My brain was thinking about Devontae, too. I was just wondering, because like, when you mentioned Derek Carr, I was thinking about how awful I felt for Devontae Adams, because that was the only reason he wanted to go to the Raiders was to play with his former college QB.
I don't. You forced your way there. Now you pay the price. Sucks to suck.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is at this point. If they get, that, it was a football decision to let go of Derek Carr, and we now see why that decision was made. So,
well, you win some, you lose some. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Anyway,
sometimes maybe shit.
Anyway, did you see the Patriots? I'm sure you did. The Patriots named Jacoby Brissett their Week 1 starter over third overall pick Drake May.
That's a bit of a shocker.
That confuses me.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit questioning what Jared Mayo's got going on over there in New England. Like,
hot take time. Hot take time. Okay. Gerard Mayo gets fired after the season.
After this season?
Yes.
He'd have to have a Nathaniel Hackett in Denver type failure for that to happen.
Here is where the odds are in my favor, Jack. Bill Belichick picked him. It's still the same players from those last 2 seasons under Belichick. What makes you think a first-time head coach in New England, might I add you, Boston is ruthless with their teams.
Of course.
What are the odds that's going to happen? It doesn't happen often. A rookie head coach gets fired after his first season. Well, I digress. Shout out Nathaniel Hackett and Urban Meyer. And David Culley. But, reasons happened. But the Patriots look terrible this year.
That's why I'm angry at this decision. Like or I guess not angry, but confused, because when you draft a quarterback top 3, they should be your week 1 starter, because the only reason you would draft a quarterback top 3 is because you are in that much need of one.
Which they were. Mac Jones was terrible.
Mac Jones was awful.
Not entirely his fault.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
So I guess what I'm thinking here, now that you mentioned Mac Jones, is maybe they're just kind of going with the whole let's start a quarterback who has a bit more experience first, which I get it, but at the same time, you drafted Drake May to be the guy. He is obviously there can't be another Tom Brady, so I'm not going to say next Tom Brady, but he's supposed to be when you draft a quarterback that high, I would imagine he's there are plans in place for him to be
Drew Bledsoe. Early on with the Patriots.
Order, but his franchise is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So I think that his practice tape, I haven't seen a lot of it. I haven't seen any of it at all, but maybe his practice tape was not all that great. But at the same point, you're right. You draft a quarterback that high, you don't want him to beat Trey Lance, where you draft a guy 3rd overall and all of a sudden he's on the bench to start the year. You don't want that. Now, I get it. Trey Lance was a project, but at the same point, you drafted Drake May 3rd overall, and the dude, from what we've seen in preseason, didn't look that bad.
Yeah, I mean...
But it's also the Patriots. They've had their fun.
Yeah, that's true, too. I guarantee you that, from our biased perspectives, if we were in this situation, we're just kind of sitting there going, yeah, you guys do whatever. You guys have already ruined everyone else enough. So, but, obviously...
The Patriots have had their fun. It is time to pay up by going one-on-one with The Undertaker!
All right, is this just going to be the rest of this podcast?
5 minutes of The Undertaker sound.
Just the bell nonstop.
Shout out to Hall of Famer Teddy Long. What the hell else was on my mind that I needed to get off my chest? We'll get the sports topics done easily right out of the gate. Can we all pay homage and say rest in peace to the Pittsburgh Steelers?
What for? What I feel like? Oh yeah, because
took a little bit.
The ride never ends. Your nation.
I love it. I fucking love it. Oh boy, Russell Wilson is starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers week 1. Oh boy, if there was
good luck to y'all.
Good luck,
Mr. Unlimited.
I don't have a sound for that, but all I have is this:
smoke weed every day.
Because that's Tomlin. What are you smoking, bud?
I have this.
Broncos country, let's ride.
If we get copyright copyright strike for that. I'm gonna be pissed.
I swear to God, if that copyright strikes us,
Oh my God. We have fun here. We do.
two dipshits with soundboards.
Oh, just fucking delightful. Anyway, we'll talk the Steelers later, but yes, week 1 starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers is Russell Wilson. Hey Jack, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Is this the most infuriating trade the Rams have made?
Oh my God.
In the last few years?
You know what?
The floor is yours.
I don't want to say no. But it's hard. I was pretty pissed at the Jalen Ramsey trade.
You were blatantly pissed.
Yeah, and I'm still kind of angry here about what happened. Yeah, the Rams trading Ernest Jones to the Titans along with a late round pick swap. That drives me crazy. Why do we need to send them a pick too? Yeah, I think this is dumb. There was no apparent reason why this trade happened other than apparently Andrew Whitworth was talking to a bunch of people on Twitter, and I guess somehow, which confuses the shit out of me, maybe Ernest wasn't even going to be a starter for this team, which is mind-boggling. They do have a new defensive coordinator. They're under Chris Shula now. And maybe he just didn't see him as a fit, but I don't want to speculate there because I don't know if that's 100% the truth. But like, if that was the case, then I can understand why Jones would be ticked off because he's been a leader on this team. Aaron Donald, when he retired, basically handed the keys to Ernest Jones. He was like, this is your defense now. And everything seemed perfect up through training camp, mini camp, the whole offseason. Everything seemed like it was going to be great. It was going to be Ernest Jones' defense. He was going to be the leader on this team. And now that's just out the window, just like that. I don't know what happens. I don't know why. Like, I don't know. It's just so mind-boggling to me because, like, if they let him play out the rest of his contract, he was on a contract year, and if they let him play out the rest of the deal, they could get more value on it.
Yep.
They could get a comp pick or something. They'd get more value out of it then if they like just let him walk in free agency. And I guess they said too that was kind of what, when he talked to the media, he told people that with the Rams, he was sort of under the impression that that he was going to finish out the rest of his contract and then just walk anyway. So in some ways, maybe this makes a bit of sense. But at the same time, I think it's just bad business to just toss him to Tennessee for a day 3 pick when he's been a leader on this team. I get that inside linebackers don't have the highest value. Like, I get that. I really do. That's what people keep telling me is like, oh, Roquan Smith only got traded for a second and a fifth. I get it. But this man, Ernest Jones, is a locker room leader. He is a foundational piece of this team. You do not let him go for like a pick swap involving day 3 picks. I think it's the stupidest thing imaginable. And you know, I don't know. It's hard. I mean, I think the Rams are still very good.
No,
I have them winning the Super Bowl this year. I'm not going to be perfectly honest. As biased as that sounds, I really do. And I don't think this changes that. I think the thing is that like they have to now you're trusting the guy that they're trusting is Omar Speights here. Omar Speights was their undrafted free agent who played in the preseason, and he balled the hell out. Like, this man was good. I loved watching him. Like, he really legitimately looks like he's the next big thing for this defense. The problem is, I don't know if I would trust an undrafted free agent to come right out of the gate and be the next Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
I don't. Could he be? Absolutely. It could happen. He could have a very good season. But I think it's a little bit risky to bank your success on undrafted free agents over people who have like proven winners in the NFL. Like Ernest Jones is a Super Bowl champion with the Rams.
Yep.
And he was a key piece of that game too. He had like a 4th down stop and everything. He knew what he was doing in that game.
Yep.
So Yeah, that was a weird trade, and then the Rams are just continuing to be off the group because now they have Kyron Williams, who's supposed to be their starting running back. They want him to return punts.
Or kicks
What?
in general.
Not kicks, just punts.
That's better.
Kicks is going to be Tutu Atwell, but
I was
punts is
gonna
going to
say,
be...
that belongs to Tutu.
Yeah. And my throat is hurting from all this rambling. Jesus Christ.
Do you want me to take over?
The amount... no, I'm good. I'm going to keep going.
Good man.
The amount of people who have appeared on my timeline going, what the hell is Tutu Atwell going to do now? The sheer amount of people who forget that kicks and punts in the NFL are two different things is absurd. They said he was returning kicks with the new kickoff. They did not say anything about punts. They said it was kicks with the new kickoff. That's it. Tutu's got his role. I don't know if I agree with what Kyron's doing. I don't agree with it, actually. Like, a starting running back should not be doing that. Starters in general should not be doing that. But, I mean, Jesus Christ. It's just such a mess. It really, like... I don't think it's a bad enough mess, though, to the point where it's like, oh, the Rams aren't going to contend. I think they're fine. I really do think they're fine. It's just a series of, like, incredibly confusing moves for this team. And I don't know. We'll see. Because now they're, like, they've been spending the whole offseason training Steve Avila, their rookie center. Or not their rookie. He was their rookie right guard last season. And this offseason, they've been training him to play center up until the other day when they say, okay, we're gonna move Jonah Jackson to center and put Avila back at right guard or left guard or wherever the hell it is. Okay, so you're just gonna change up the O-line again? You're gonna mess with things again, like right before the season starts? Yeah. You do want to win that game week 1 against Detroit, right? Like, that's kind of a must win in my opinion for the Rams. If there ever could be a must win in week 1, I think they want to get their revenge on Detroit. And it's like, yeah. It's just been a confusing series of days for the Rams. And am I worried about them? No, not really. But am I confused by what they're trying to pull? Yeah, I'm a little bit floored by some of this stuff right now. So I hope they'll be fine. I don't think that this will hurt them too bad, but it definitely does hurt because I don't see how their defense is better without Ernest Jones. And the O-line shifts are just weird, but I don't know. It's a weird one. So,
do you want to discuss some good stuff?
No, we'll see where this goes for the Rams. But yeah,
do you want to discuss some good news? We had a trailer come out.
Oh boy, let's go! Let's absolutely go!
Oh my God, Keanu Reeves! I thought Hayden Christensen would have been a better fit, but after I heard Keanu Reeves speak, I was like, go on, please.
Yes, let him talk. The way he delivered that "what I had to" line as Shadow. Oh my God. You people who are listening to this show right now, I think you guys have to understand how big of a deal the Sonic the Hedgehog movies have been.
They were good.
Keanu Reeves picked this franchise over Star Wars. He picked a voiceover role in Sonic the Hedgehog over Star Wars.
Oh boy.
Jim Carrey was talking about how he might retire. He was talking about how he's probably done.
Oh.
And here he is in Sonic 3.
Oh. 2 more movies, please. That'd be fun. That'd be fun as shit. But yes, anyway, the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer came out. We got Shadow's reveal. And I have never been more hyped. I've been so hyped for this movie.
This movie already looks like it's going to blow Sonic 2 out of the water. And Sonic 2 is my favorite movie.
And it's going to be dark, dude. Okay, for those who don't know Shadow's story, we will explain. Shadow the Hedgehog was a project created by...
We're going full video game nerd, by the way, here, so just bear with us. We know this shifted from football to video games, so
who the fuck cares? We're still doing it. So Shadow the Hedgehog was so we're combining 2 games here, Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog.
Kinda.
So, yeah, it's basically, if you've played both of those games, you'll know this story. But for those who don't, Shadow the Hedgehog was a project created by Professor Gerald Robotnik over in the Space Colony arc 50 years ago in that timeline. He was a government... the project itself, along with the entire Space Colony, was shut down by the government at that time. And there was a major accident because one of Shadow's closest friend, Maria Robotnik, who was Gerald's niece? Granddaughter?
Maria was the
granddaughter.
Granddaughter,
She was the granddaughter. She was the granddaughter.
No, she was the... Well...
It was the granddaughter, yes. I remember now. It was the granddaughter of Gerald Robotnik. She was shot down by government military forces who invaded the space colony and shut down the research facility. Gerald proceeds to go batshit crazy, and Shadow's whole identity throughout Sonic Adventure 2 was, I promise you, Maria, I will get revenge on the humans who did this.
Yeah. And the only problem is he kind of got it a little bit twisted. He was thinking like, I want to get revenge for Maria. Like I want to protect the planet, I guess, or I want to do what Maria said and like get revenge for her. And he didn't realize that like what Maria meant was like protecting the planet and protecting like humanity for like for her sake, yep. Protecting humanity. He kind of got his morals twisted. He was like, oh, I need to get revenge on the humans that did this rather than...
Which, let's be honest here. If your closest friend or your significant other gets shot down by human government military forces, I think you would go batshit crazy too. Let's be honest here. But now the story
gets... Kind of a wild story, because, like, Shadow was supposed to be a cure for, like, a disease that she had, I think, so...
Yeah. So, and that... His story gets, amplified even further in the 2005 release, Shadow the Hedgehog. You then later find out that Shadow is half alien. So... Shadow's blood came from a basically alien dictator, terrorist, whatever, Black Doom, and Black Doom's blood was used to finish the creation of Shadow. And then that's a whole other, it's a good game. That game is also really good. I play it every now and then, but they're gonna go dark in this movie. Holy shit.
I don't think the movie... The thing that people need to realize when it comes to this movie, it's not gonna be Sonic Adventure 2, the movie. It's not gonna be Shadow the Hedgehog, the movie. It will be darker than what it was. Like, easily it'll be the darkest in the whole franchise.
Shit!
But it's not gonna be a direct adaptation of the game. You should not expect that, because the movies have been telling their own story, and I think they've done a fantastic job of doing so far. They told a really grounded story in the first movie. They kind of set up the world in which this would take place, but it was designed to have a sequel. And the sequel started really like diving a bit more into the source material. And now in this movie, I think we're gonna get that times 10. We're gonna get we're going to get a lot more like into the source material. We're going to have more like game referential things. I think there's a theory going around that Metal Sonic can be introduced to the franchise at some point soon.
Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?
That's another thing too. Like, I wonder if they'll go like looking for the Chaos Emeralds or something like that. So
I wonder if the prototype makes an appearance.
I wonder. There's a lot to digest here.
I wonder how they're going to make the space colony. Holy shit! The inner nerd is going.
It's going to be hype. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to do it, and it's going to be fun. And
I can't wait.
I'm excited that Yeah. Shout out to the fact, too, that, like, I thought this was just going to be Sonic and Shadow, the movie. And while for the most part it looks like it is, I think judging by the trailer, you're going to get a few epic moments from Tails and Knuckles, too. I think they're not going to be, like...
I think Rouge enters the room, too.
I think the thing that bugged me a lot about the second movie was that one of the big pushes for the second movie is, like, now Tails is here. And he was kind of given a bit more of a reduced role. It ended up kind of becoming a bit more Sonic v. Knuckles, while Tails was like sort of there in the background. He was there. He played a role. It just wasn't as big as it probably should have been, especially when you look at all the marketing for the second movie. This one, I think the whole trio is going to get their moments. So, and then you throw Shadow in there. You get an epic Sonic v. Shadow fight. I mean, this is going to be sick. I can't wait.
The trailer already is like... They're not.
It did better than Sonic 2's trailer on Twitter within an hour of coming out.
No, they're not fucking around.
They're not. They're really not. Like this is
so pumped. He looks so good.
So hard.
That when I saw the second movie, I will admit I saw the end of the second movie through YouTube videos, and like the theater reaction to it's like. There was something more. We discovered something, a secret deep buried in 50 years ago. The second they said that, I was like, we're getting Shadow.
As soon as they said 50 years ago, my whole theater erupted. Like everybody was insane. The theater that I watched the second movie in for the first time was laughing a lot, and like it wasn't like a whole like Avengers Endgame type reactions, but there were good laughs that everybody was watching, they were paying attention. But then the big like hype moment came as soon as they were like, oh yeah, by the way, there was this thing 50 years ago. Everyone's just like, oh my God, Shadow. And it's like, oh, good Lord. I can't wait to see if they do like a post-credit scene.
Oh, please.
I think it needs to be very clear right now. This movie franchise is not done after 3.
No, they will absolutely the fuck not.
They will have another spin-off. They'll do another, and they're going to do another movie, but it's not done after 3.
Silver's coming. I think they're going to get Silver involved somehow.
I think maybe we get Amy and Rouge first.
I think Amy and Rouge enter this movie.
I don't know.
Yes.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell just because like there were a lot of people that wanted them in this movie and they weren't. It doesn't seem like there's any sign, but you never know. They're pretty sneaky. I mean, we didn't think Tails would be in this first movie, and they got him in there in a little cameo. So who knows?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm hyped. This is gonna be the like one of the craziest things ever.
Now we go into the most pissed off worthy part of this entire show. Jack, I'm a Star Wars fan. Are you a Star Wars fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't see my wall, but there were prior episodes of this show where like you could see I had Star Wars stickers all over my wall over here.
We are both Star Wars fans to more an extent myself than, you, but we will debate fandom another time. With that being said, have you seen the sequel trilogy by chance?
Yeah.
Would you agree that the sequel trilogy was a disappointment?
Yeah.
So
I know what you're getting at here, but just keep going.
Disney acquired Lucasfilm Studios from George Lucas and then released 5 movies: The Force Awakens, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, The Last Jedi, Solo, A Star Wars Story, which was we don't count that, and then The Rise of Skywalker. They then proceed to release a few good shows: Kenobi, The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. Some may argue Ahsoka. They finished the Clone Wars series, which we all knew what was happening, but they finished it. Which was fucking awesome. Andor. But then there have been mostly duds, including this most recent one, which has proceeded to get Twitter in a fucking firestorm. Holy shit. So, and for those who say, oh, the ratings don't matter. Why was it canceled then? Why was The Acolyte canceled? because the ratings stunk and the show was terrible.
There are some people out there who are like very angry over this because they think that people who hated it don't understand the lore or whatever it may be. I think the show writers didn't understand the lore.
Nope.
I don't think they knew what they were doing at all.
No, they didn't. They didn't. Anyone that knows a lick of Star Wars will know, hey, the midichlorians in your body, if you're a user of the Force, the midichlorians in your body will act a certain way, and you have an opportunity to choose your path. But they basically punted on that entire idea and said, no, we're going to make lesbian space witches that were able to get pregnant by the Force. Like, what the fuck is... What? I'm not trying to make this, like, a whole, hey, let's get Dan angry and shit like that. But at some point, you have to understand that make a good fucking show. Not everything has to be about an agenda. Make a good show, have the writing be good, have the acting be good, have the story be good. That's it.
I mean, that's basically the whole gist of it. Like that's the thing about like the Acolyte is that it's not my complaints like about the lore are like bad enough, but it's not even just a lore thing or like they don't understand the source material. It's like it was just genuinely not a good show. It did not flow as a good TV show. Like
it wasn't. It was a stupid show. It could have been so much better. It could have been. But no, you have writers and producers and directors that want to make this about political agendas over making a good show. And before you say, like the Acolyte was successful, look at the box office and look at the budget. That show, every episode lost money. Millions of dollars. What was it, like each show took like, what was it, like 20 million to make? And they lost 100 million or something like that? They were in the red constantly. Constantly. And another thing that pissed me off topic from the Acolyte, Jack, you've seen Fight Club, right?
Have I seen it? No.
Do you know of the movie Fight Club?
I know of the movie Fight Club. Yeah.
That Fight Club is getting remade into an all-women cast. All female directors, all female actors, all female producers.
Why?
Exactly. Why? Why? Why would you... And I posted about this on Instagram, and I said, sometimes you have to understand when you're going too far. When you are making content, like massive amounts of content in Hollywood as a whole has been notorious for this. But it has gotten so much worse over the last few years, where every single stinking thing that Hollywood makes has something political involved. Or something social involved. Like, make a good piece of content, please. This isn't hard. This isn't fucking hard.
It's not easy, but it's not that
easy,
hard
but it's
either.
not hard.
Like
Listen, let's be honest here. What we do is not fucking easy by any stretch. To try and come up with topics weekly to talk about and ramble about and push buttons on. But we still have fun doing it.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun pushing these buttons.
Hey! But my point is this. That show and everything about it stunk, and that was the reason why it was canceled. Not because they hated the LGBTQ plus community, whatever the fuck. Not because they hated the community. Not because they hated all women cast. Not because they hated the lesbian space witches. No, it is because that show stunk. And call my ass out. I don't care. Call Jack's ass out. Probably not call Jack's ass out, but, let's just Jack is innocent here in this department.
I mean, I'm not innocent. I called the show bad, but
like it's like all of a sudden you say you voice an opinion and you get hounded on by the wolves of bullshit, saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, you
No,
just
I
don't
have
like
been
it."
there.
Like, and that's my whole. And that was the big reason. Like tribalism as a whole is like we see it all the time in sports.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you see it all the time in the gaming community.
I have been a victim of it a few times.
Yeah, we all have. We both have, absolutely. Where you're saying, I will die on this hill, and it's my opinion, therefore I am right, and I will die on this hill, and I will die on this hill no matter what. That's a dangerous road to go on. You want to talk about bigotry and arrogance? That's not far off from said bigotry and arrogance. You're turning into that. Oh, boy. Jack, your thoughts?
I don't know. You kind of put it all out there.
I did kind of.
Yeah.
I did kind of. Oh, boy. We got a few more things here. Some hockey discussion. Any news from the Kings?
Couple player number changes, but that's kind of it. I mean, we're just waiting at this point. We're kind of waiting for the season to start again. Yeah, I mean, there's I need the new jersey to come out ASAP because
Jersey's beautiful.
It's a thing of beauty. Not necessarily what I would do, but I still like it a lot. It's a big upgrade of what they had. So yeah, I would definitely pick one of those up. So.
Did you?
But yeah, no major updates quite yet. Actually, I will complain about one thing, and it's that the Kings made the rookie face-off. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like like a few teams send their rookies to play against other rookies every now and then. A couple teams have like their own tournaments. The Kings are in one with teams like Vegas, San Jose, Colorado. I wonder if Utah's doing it this year because it was Arizona, but they're in Utah now. Anyway, it used to be cheap and free to attend, and now if you want to go to this one, you need like a $299 pass, which is, bro. It's one of the drawbacks that they're dealing with because they have to host the tournament in their practice facility this year, which if they made cheap tickets, it would sell out very fast. But they can't have any games at Crypto during the preseason because it's being renovated. So that's why they're starting the season on like a 7-8 game road trip, and they can't host any preseason games there or any like rookie things or whatever else. Like they can't do that. So, I mean, it's a little annoying. It feels like it's kind of setting the team back a bit in the region too, because you just had the Ducks announce like you can stream all their games free. But now the Kings are like charging a shitload of money for a tournament that used to be very cheap. It's a bad comparison. It's a bad look, but that's just something I needed to complain about. But that's a very specific team by team thing. There's not really any like major breaking news as far as the Kings go. But yeah.
I'm pumped for this hockey season, man. I understand. Like Isles fans on Twitter are losing their shit. Because shocker, Anthony Duclair had to shave his beard and dreadlocks because he joined a Lou Lamoriello ran team. And people are losing their fucking marbles over that.
I would lose my marbles over that, to be honest. I hate the idea.
It's not it's not just that. Like, I obviously speak from a different experience than you do because I'm a Yankee fan. And the Steinbrenner rule has dated back like 60 years. So that predates Lou Lamoriello. But at the same point, like, it's like, and people are calling it, and people are going as far as to call Lou racist.
Like, it's not a racist thing.
It's not racist at all. That's not even close to racist. Like,
it's basically his way. It's like how the Yankees basically say nobody can have beards. It's like their way of kind of like pushing an agenda of like no one is above the team, like no egos.
Which is not a bad idea in that regard.
I get it. I understand that regard, but or maybe it's like a professionalism thing too. I don't know. But I always thought it was dumb. Like if I want to have a big ass beard while playing for a team, I'm going to keep that beard. I don't care.
Shout out Joe Thornton.
Oh my God, that legend!
A glorious beard that was.
That was quite.
But like the point, but people are losing their minds over something that quite honestly doesn't affect them because they're not on the team. They're not. They're not. This shouldn't be a hard thing to discuss. Just enjoy the games. Because Anthony Duclair's a really good player. And is on the top line with Bo Horvat and Matt Barzal. So shut your trap. What a very angry episode.
I know, right?
Very emotional as shit. Jack, bash it Berlin. That got you in your seat.
I did.
Bash it I need to get that sound.
The look on your face.
The look on my delightful face. But yes, Bash it Berlin, the next big premium live event over from Berlin, Germany, is tomorrow as we are recording. So you'll probably get this show the following morning, August 31st. So, yay, stuff. Anyway, Bash it Berlin, I have the card, I have the matches. So you ready to make your predictions, Jack?
I believe so. We're going to try.
Unholy Union, Alba Fire, and Isla Dawn, the women's tag team champions versus Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair for the women's tag team titles.
I believe that the Unholy Union will retain.
I believe so too, and I think a Bianca Belair heel turn is incoming.
Interesting perspective there.
Well, because would you agree they want to push Jade Cargill? That woman is a specimen and a half.
Yeah.
That might be the best way to do it, truthfully speaking. But
we could end up with multiple heel turns the same night if that's the case.
Oh, we absolutely could. We absolutely could. We could end up with 2 heel turns the same damn night. Exciting. Yeah, I agree with you. Unholy Union retains the women's tag team championships. I think after we do that, we should do the bell sound. Make this even better. Yes, it's even better. That's actually much better, in fact. Next up, we have a mixed tag match, which we haven't seen that in a while.
I know, right? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, the Terror Twins, versus Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan of the Judgment Day in a mixed tag match. I will go with the heels here.
They could go either way, but I think that one's going to go to the people representing the Judgment Day. I think, I don't know, they're going to like pull off some kind of surprise and get the win, or maybe other Judgment Day members are going to try to interfere or something like that.
Yeah, probably, because they want to push Damian to be babyface here. Rhea's an excellent babyface. She's one of those rare talents where you can put her into both roles and she could blossom fantastically, in fact.
It very much could happen, yeah.
Very well could happen. So Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan take the win versus Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. Bell? There we go. We'll get used to it.
Yeah, we will.
Next up, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre in a strap match. If you don't know what a strap match is, just look up Royal Rumble 2020 with Daniel Bryan and The Fiend Bray Wyatt.
I'll explain it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Both wrestlers are going to have a strap on their wrist. Like, there's a single strap that has them connected to each other by the wrist, and you're basically trying to get the other guy unconscious, essentially. The strap can be used as a weapon, and what you're trying to do is get him to the point where, like, he cannot do anything about you walking to all four corners of the ring and touching the turnbuckles in succession.
You know, I think I think there's a better way to make this match better. Do you know what a dog collar match is?
Oh my God, by the neck.
Yes.
I think oh my God, that would be
I believe there are
a bit too far, but
I believe CM Punk has been in 2 dog collar matches his entire career. One in AEW against MJF, and that match was phenomenal. Amazingly did not main event that night. And in Ring of Honor against Raven back in 2005. And they say dog collar matches take years off your life.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't think they're going to do that. Because
I would love that, personally.
I know the psycho hardcore people would love for that to happen.
Oh, the hardcore fans would love it. The ECW blood would love it. Punk wins.
Punk wins.
Punk wins.
They're gonna even the rivalry at 1-1 because McIntyre won at SummerSlam, so Punk is gonna win this, and that's gonna set up Hell in a Cell with bad blood between the two.
Hey, there we go. We missed the cage matches. Where's the bell? CM Punk. There we go. CM Punk takes the win. We also get possibly the second heel turn of the night. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens for the undisputed. They've been teasing this for weeks.
They have.
They've been teasing
it and acting like it's not going to happen. So
this is not going to happen, you say?
Or no, they've been acting like it's not like they've been saying. Okay. They've been having Kevin say like, "Oh, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to turn on you." Like,
which his entire career is all about turning heel.
Exactly. I was going to say that too. And like the funny thing is that A-Town Down Under was on SmackDown the other week and basically like playing this video clip of all the times in the past that KO has turned heel, and they're just exploiting that to continue to make that a part of this, whatever's going to happen here. The thing that gets me intrigued on this, though, so fun fact, I've actually seen SmackDown tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's supposed to air tonight. Live.
Yeah, they broadcasted it live from... They taped it and broadcasted it live from, what's it called? From Berlin. Germany. So... because of the big time difference, it's already aired over there, and I've already seen SmackDown for tonight. And so,
well,
basically, one thing that they tried to bring up too was like how Kevin Owens was like trying to ask Cody if his knee was okay because of some of like the house shows that they were doing throughout Europe leading into this PLE, and they're trying to kind of exploit that, but Cody is kind of like sitting there going, "My knee's fine. That's not an issue." And then he ended the promo with saying something along the lines of, "You've always been my friend. I've always loved you. You've been my guy. But when I beat you and when I retain this title, will we still be friends?" And in response, Kevin drops the mic, walks right up to Cody, whispers something in his ear, and he's out.
Heel turn.
Leaves the ring, walks off stage. It feels like there's a heel turn right there.
I think there's a heel turn incoming, and it's pretty fucking obvious. Because KO is better as a heel. He's also really good as a face.
He's good at both.
Talk about rare talents that are really good at both. He could do both. Absolutely can do both.
He really could.
So
prediction.
I have an upset. I think we get Cody drops the title.
You think he drops the title this quickly?
Maybe, maybe not. But we obviously need to watch the match because it is tomorrow as we're recording. But maybe Cody retains.
I think it's pretty obvious, or not obvious, that Cody will retain. I mean, they could swerve, but I feel like this match at Bash in Berlin isn't the PLE where Cody would drop the undisputed title. I feel like you're gonna have to. It's gonna have to be like one of the big five.
Yeah. He's too big of a star to not drop the title this early.
Yeah. Like it would have to happen at something like Survivor Series or something like that, or like whenever like
where is Survivor Series this year? Is it in Vancouver?
where it's gonna be in Vancouver.
I was about to say it's in Vancouver. Huh.
I think they were teasing the Intuit Dome in LA, but they ended up not doing it.
Oh, that sucks. That would have been cool though.
Maybe in the future though. We'll see.
Yeah, is the building done?
Yeah.
No kidding. Sweet.
Some Brewers will be playing there next season.
Cody retains?
Cody retains.
Bell. Cody retains. And we have the main event next up. Gunther and Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. We're just going to say rather get Gunther retains.
The thing is,
No.
someone here, no matter what, is going to get screwed. I really don't know.
You don't have Gunther drop the belt this early?
But the thing is, I don't, but I kind of feel like they might give it to Randy because here's the deal.
Okay, I'm hearing you out.
It's like I just said, someone here is going to get screwed. Either Gunther is going to almost immediately drop that title, or Randy Orton is going to lose the match after the reason you have to remember, the reason why Randy got this match in the first place is because of what happened at King and Queen of the Ring. In the King of the Ring finals, Gunther pinned Randy for the win, but Randy's shoulder was in the air.
Yeah.
So he got screwed that way. It would have been Randy Orton fighting against Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight title at SummerSlam had that been officiated the proper direction. So now if Randy loses it again in this one, then he's just going to get completely screwed. Obviously, that won't deter him. He'll probably end up going back to SmackDown at some point. And I think they also kind of teased a little bit too, like Randy Orton, the way he was looking at Cody's title too. Like Randy could end up going back to SmackDown and taking a look at Cody's title there too. But I don't know. I feel either way. My prediction is going to be that Gunther retains. But either way, somebody's going to get screwed.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think Gunther retains, but this is not over. You might get another one. When's the next PLE is Bad Blood, right?
Yes.
Okay. We're probably gonna get Bad Blood we're gonna get another match in Atlanta for Bad Blood.
Maybe.
Yay!
I'm just kind of wondering, like, when, that could also be when we end up getting Roman versus Solo. But
Ooh, in a cage.
That'd be fun. I think the cage match is Drew versus Punk, but
I love the cage matches. They're awesome. Undertaker was the king of those. The Hell in a Cell matches. Very well timed. Gunther retains?
Gunther retains.
All right, bell. I gotta get a bell sound. Damn it, that sucks. Anyway, so that was Bash at Berlin preview. The 53-man rosters were officially announced yesterday? 2 days ago?
I think whenever Tuesday was.
3 days ago. What do you think, Jack? Because I'm not torn on it. I think it's a really good roster the Seahawks have.
Who is there somebody that made your roster that you were surprised did, or someone you were surprised didn't make it?
So I was shocked that, truthfully, George Holani, who's the de facto fourth running back, didn't make it. I was shocked that D. Eskridge didn't make it, but it was bound to happen pretty much. Who else? I I was shocked they traded Darryl Taylor, but at the same point, it was like, oh, they signed Tyus Bowser. Yay. That's nice. That's a nice move. But it's I'm not against it at all. I think it's a really good looking roster. The secondary I love. The depth all around is really good. The offensive line upgraded from last season. From Evan Brown to now Connor Williams. So, yay. Laken Tomlinson's going to start left guard. Bradford's going to start right. George Fant's going to start at right tackle until Abe Lucas returns from his knee injury. Charles Cross at left tackle. The 3 running backs I'm pumped for. The tight ends could maybe use some work, but we'll see. And I love the defensive line. Oh, I love it. So that's where I'm at currently. How about you, Jack?
I don't know. I think the Rams basically kind of did what they needed, for the most part, what they needed to do after losing Ernest Jones. I don't like that that Troy Reader is being talked about as a starting linebacker on this team. I don't think his performance was what it needed to be. I don't know. They've got a pretty loaded secondary though. I don't think this team's defense is as bad at all. Like people are saying, these people who are pretending to be experts are saying that the defense is rough and they're going to struggle. I think their defense is still in a much better place this year than it was last year.
Their defense is in a better spot because they brought back Darius Williams, they brought in Cameron Curl, they brought in Tre'Davious White. Like they upgraded their secondary with the cap space that they got from the Aaron Donald retirement.
I still would sign a Keller Witherspoon.
I still would too.
Yeah, I
put
need
Darius
to
inside.
I don't know. I think most of my concerns with the depth chart are sort of on offense, and I was a bit surprised that Zach Evans is not on the team. I thought he had a better preseason, but I guess they really like Ronnie Rivers. I'm surprised Boston Scott didn't make the team either. I thought he was one of their better signings the offseason. I'm a bit shocked there, but I guess they like the running backs that they have because Zach Evans isn't there, Boston Scott isn't there.
Blake Corum was nice too.
Yeah, their running back room this year is going to be good. I'm still skeptical about having Kyron return punts, but Kyron and Blake Corum as your 1-2 punch at running back is going to be something fun as hell to watch. And then
that'll be good.
We're going to get Colby Parkinson as tight end 1 for now. Seahawks legend, of course. Colby Parkinson.
Hair, phenomenal.
We have 2 tight ends with really good hair.
Yeah, Higbee too.
Yeah, Higbee won't play for a little while though. He's hurt.
Oh yeah, right.
But even still, I think Parkinson is a decent enough replacement for the time being.
He's a big target too.
Yeah,
he's 6'8".
I think my only thing is I'm just hoping that Stafford doesn't get hurt because Stetson Bennett he showed some improvement during his second preseason game, but he didn't look like he was really capable of winning them.
Yeah, you don't want to
consistent
rely on
football games.
You don't want to rely on porn star Jimmy too much.
But I would rely on him more than Stetson Bennett in a backup situation.
Oh,
I think realistically Jimmy Garoppolo is about the same as Carson Wentz, but I think Garoppolo can be better with Sean McVay than with Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, so. True, good point. You ready to close out the show with the AFC North?
Let's do it.
So
this division is going to be war, by the way.
Yes!
It's going to be a complete war.
Excitement. Chaos. Bullshit. Destruction and nonsense. We enjoy these things.
Leroy Jenkins!
You know what? You get that button. I'm proud of you. We start. Oh Jesus! We start things off with my pick to be the worst team in the AFC North, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Finished last season.
Steeler football.
Jesus Christmas! Finished last season with a 10-win season. More additions than subtractions here for the Steel Curtain. Notable free agents include Van Jefferson, Russell Wilson, yay, Patrick
Justin
Queen,
Fields.
Patrick Queen. Well, that was a trade. Patrick Queen,
Okay,
Landon Roberts, what the fuck was it? Deshaun Elliott, Dante Jackson. They got in a trade from Carolina, and Cordell Patterson. So the Steelers roster is very, 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 very top heavy. Very top heavy. It's like, oh, they have TJ Watt here, they have Alex Highsmith here, they have Patrick Queen there, they have Cam Hayward here on the defense. Oh, Mika Fitzpatrick's still really good. And then it's, oh god, Dean Lowry, Marvin Neal, Nick Herbig, Miles Killebrew, DeMonte KZ, Darius Rush, just garbage.
I'm just going to put it about as simply as I possibly can. This is going to be the first time ever where Mike Tomlin has a losing season for the Steelers.
Good. Because
in his entire career, Tomlin has never had a season where the team didn't at least go 500. And this includes the 17-game seasons, because the first year in 2021 where the NFL expanded to 17 games per team, the Steelers went 8-1.
what fucking bullshit.
They had a tie with the winless Detroit Lions to go 8-1.
Unbelievable.
The 1 year where it's an odd number amount of games, so you cannot possibly have like a completely 500 season. Two teams figure out how to tie, and the Steelers have a 500 season in an odd numbered year.
Can the tie just go away, please? Ties need to go away.
I'm an advocate of the XFL overtime, where the teams did like a shootout of 2-point conversions.
Yep, I'm down with that.
Let's do that.
Let's
bring that back.
I think the Steelers finished with 5 wins. I'm
going over their schedule right now, and there's not really many opportunities for wins.
Nope.
They probably maybe they beat the Falcons in week 1. That's a huge maybe.
Maybe
they're going to beat the Broncos in week 2.
They're going to pull a win over the Ravens out of their ass. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, they'll get some. The thing about the Steelers, though, is like we talk about them like this on paper, but the Steelers to me have always been that one team that somehow forces their opponents more often than not into like some trap games or something like that, or they'll manage to make the game an ugly game of football, and they win ugly games of football. That's kind of their MO.
It's the stupidest thing.
They figure out. We talk about them like they're this absolute dog water on paper, and yet they win the ugly games. They will find a way to win these ugly games.
It's the stupidest shit known to mankind.
Yeah, it really is dumb, and I really feel like they aren't gonna go away quietly in too many of these games. So I suppose we'll see what direction they go, but on paper, it's not looking great.
We continue with the team that finished with the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL this past season, and a team that finished with a 11-win season, the Cleveland Browns, who not a lot of additions as well, not a lot of subtractions either. Entering the room, we have Jordan Hicks and Devin Bush in the linebacker room. Also, we have Jerry Jeudy from the Broncos, acquiring him via trade. This is essentially they'll live and die by Deshaun Watson here. That defense is unbelievable, but they're going to live and die by Deshaun Watson here.
That defense won me a fantasy championship last year. So.
Hey, there you go. Shout out to Myles Garrett and his defensive player. Took you that long to find that button?
I was trying to click it, and it wasn't going.
Oh, dang buttons. So, I think Cleveland still finishes with the best defense in the league, or at least top 5.
It didn't get that worse. It really didn't. It didn't get that.
They got a little better. Jordan Hicks helps. If we get Texans Deshaun Watson, like rookie year Deshaun Watson, Browns win the division. And I will tell you why when we get to the Ravens.
Okay.
But they'll live and die by Deshaun Watson here. That contract is immovable unless they find a way to fuck around.
Yeah.
With like what the Broncos
Which is possible. We've seen teams do it before.
It's very possible.
We've seen GMs find a way to get themselves out of seemingly immovable contracts, so we'll see what happens there.
Let's be honest here. If Denver can get out of $50 million a year of Russell Wilson, the Browns can get out of this one.
The Rams got out of Jared Goff.
I knew you were going to put a Rams reference in there somewhere.
I'm just saying, we've seen it before.
We've seen it before plenty of times. Jack, what do you think about the Browns this year?
I mean, yeah, you kind of said it. They've got a pretty solid defense. It just comes down to they're going to live and die by their offense. So we'll see what I think, honestly, too, like they could live and die by their, like, a hot defense can carry you a big way in games, but at the end of the day, your offense is what has to execute when they have the football. So
shout out to those Rex Ryan Jets. Perfect example.
Yeah, it's really, I think, ultimately just going to come down to what do we get out of Deshaun Watson and what's he going to do for that team this year. Because if he plays like he did with the Texans,
good luck.
Look out for the Browns.
Good luck.
Look out.
Yep, good luck. We now go to the team that had the number 1 overall seed in the AFC last year, a team that finished with the top 5 offense and a top 5 defense, and a team that I think is going to take a gigantic step back, the Baltimore Ravens.
It's going to be very, very hard for them to do this year what they did last year. Yep. I'm not going to say Lamar Jackson's going to take a step back. That won't happen.
I think the team as a whole takes a step back. I'm going to read you off the top of my head their free agent losses. Patrick Queen, okay, that's a start.
That's a substantial loss.
Yeah, it's a substantial loss. Jadeveon Clowney, Geno Stone.
Bad one.
That's a bad loss. He was really good last year. Morgan Moses, Kevin Zeitler, John Simpson, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and that's basically it. Now, entering the room, we have Eddie Jackson, who came from Chicago. Derrick Henry,
I don't hate that.
I don't hate that at all. Derrick Henry. I
don't think a lot needs to be said about that. Derrick Henry with Lamar Jackson sounds pretty scary on its own. It sounds
scary on paper, yes. It does sound scary on paper. And that's it. They didn't really have a lot of additions and or subtractions. Well, they have more. The big one here before you continue. The big one I think is going to be really interesting. They lost their defensive coordinator to yours truly. To be the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks in Mike McDonald. That might be the biggest loss out of all of it, because that man can coach a defense.
Hang on, I think he might be.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
No, I think I might be confused. Sorry.
You're good. But I think the Ravens. I
thought it was Martindale still. I might be dumb.
No,
he's with the Giants now.
No, he actually left the Giants.
Well, he was with the Giants last year.
The Giants.
Yeah, I got my defensive coordinators mixed up. I apologize.
Yeah, Zachary Orr is now the new defensive coordinator of the Ravens.
Okay.
So, the bigger loss is Mike McDonald, because that defense was a nightmare to play against.
Yeah. That game between the Rams and Ravens will always piss me off after what happened last year. It will always piss me off.
Can we get to the prediction, please, before you go off the deep end?
I've already gone off the deep end. It really should have been a win. And the sad thing is that's the only game the Rams lost. Like, if they would have just called that illegal block in the back in overtime on that punt return, that wipes that touchdown off the board in OT. And maybe there's a chance. Or the game might not even get to overtime if they would have just scored a touchdown when they were in the red zone at the end of regulation. So
yeah, true. Good point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a little frustrating to think about because if we win that game, then the Rams, after starting 3-6 last year, would have won the table from the bye week. Anyway, now that I got that off my chest,
you deserve that button. Anyway, the Ravens, Jack.
I can understand why you think they take a step back, but I think they still have too many good pieces on offense to fail. I really do. It could just end up being another case of they outscore their problems. I think the big issue with the Ravens over the last several years has been injuries.
Yes.
They got to stay healthy. They really do got to stay healthy. Like, I can understand why they moved on from J.K. Dobbins. He was getting hurt left and right. But that's kind of got to happen. That's the whole, like, gist of the team. Obviously, Lamar's going to play well. I don't think he's going to play that bad this year. Can they just stay healthy on offense? Can Derrick Henry stay healthy? Can who are their receivers now?
Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers.
Can Rashad Bateman stay healthy?
And Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah. Can those guys really, like, just... Can they have that core around Lamar Jackson that they can rely on throughout the year to stay healthy and be there for them the whole time? If they can, they are going to be right there in the mix this year too.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. I don't think they... Let's be real. I don't think they lose the division. We're both in agreement there, right?
Yeah, I think so.
We both think the Ravens still win this division. But I don't think they win it by that much. I think this division...
Like I said, it's going to be a war.
It'll be a war, but I think this division is closer than we think. And the next team the last team we're going to talk about is the biggest reason.
That's a low bar because I think it's pretty close, but go ahead.
What? What was that?
I already think it's going to be very close, but if you think it's going to be even closer than very close, then yeah.
Yeah, so and the biggest reason why is the next team we're going to talk about, the last team in the AFC North.
Kitty goes meow. Tom Garfield reference.
Oh, okay. The Cincinnati Bengals last season finished with a 9-win season, and they still finished with the 4th best record in that entire division. Shocker, amazingly enough. Key losses for Cincinnati. Again, not a ton of big losses. They did lose Tyler Boyd. So
that one hurts a little bit.
That one hurts a little bit, but at the same point, by how much? They did trade away Joe Mixon. DJ Reader's gone. But in their replacements, they brought in Zach Moss, Sheldon Rankins, Geno Stone from the Ravens, Von Bell in a reunion from Carolina. They also brought in Trent Brown to play right tackle. That's massive. And then, on a subtle note, they did bring in Mike Gesicki from the Patriots. So, because that man is a giant.
Honestly, though.
I'm amazed.
On paper, obviously, well, not just on paper, losing Joe Mixon is a big deal, especially when it's a downgrade when you compare Zach Moss to Joe Mixon.
Yes.
But Zach Moss is one of the most underrated running backs in the NFL. He
really
is one
good.
of those guys where he did what I think Sony Michel did for the Rams during the Super Bowl year. Again, I'm name jumping the Rams, but that's just like, you know how my brain works. Like, Darrell Henderson was running back 1 for the time being, and then his performance wasn't the greatest right out of the gate. So they had Sony Michel kind of take over as the running back, as the lead running back, and he held it down for them. He really did. And Henderson did get better, but Yeah. My point is, that's the type of running back that Zach Moss can be. Where when the Colts were without Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss came in and he was the guy and he held it down for them in the run game. He still made them a threat in the run game. And I think now that he has a starting job too with the Bengals, I would keep my eyes out for that too. That can be pretty dangerous.
I remember Andrew Luck's last season when they had Marlon Mack, Zach Moss, and Nyheim Hines in that backfield.
What a weird, dumb backfield.
It was such a weirdly good backfield too. It really was. And then they proceed to draft Jonathan Taylor. And I was like, ooh, they got better. Ooh, toys. I think this division goes in 1-4, Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers.
Yeah, that's basically my prediction.
That's what I think. That's
kind of how I feel.
I think 2 teams make the playoffs in this division.
I think 3.
You got 3.
I think if the Browns play well enough, all 3.
Yeah, I'm not against that at all.
Other divisions notwithstanding, I think if the Browns play well enough, they can push for a playoff spot too.
I agree with you on that part. Again, live and die by Deshaun Watson at this point.
Yeah.
Live and die by Deshaun Watson.
I have to look at their schedule just to make a definitive prediction, but I think that
which we'll get to predictions next week. We'll get a whole group of stupid together and cause some nonsense for.
I can't wait for the whole group of stupid.
Oh, I cannot wait to. We got to bother Mike about that too. To get some of the belly up guys as well, so that'd be fun as shit.
I can't wait.
I know 2 of them that I want to bring along for the ride. Ryan is one of them. The one we had on last week.
Yeah. He fit right in with all the Old Spice sound effects.
He really did. He knew what to do. This is exciting.
I know you're not leaving me hanging from this, right?
No, you're not. You're not.
For sure.
I'm sure shit not leaving you hanging. You're practically co-host of this crap.
At this point.
At this point, might as well. And let's be honest here.
Informal co-host.
Yeah, true. Pretty much. Fun as shit, though. So, ladies and gentlemen, we also have BS Sessions Volumes 40 and 41 in the works. Very exciting indeed, hence why the 3 mic stands are out. Very exciting time indeed. Speaking of bullshit, where the hell is Donut?
Donut was hanging around earlier at the start, but she's kind of off doing her own thing at this point.
Logging somewhere at this point. So, with that being said, that'll do it. 1 hour and 41 minutes into this show, and 17 seconds. That'll do it for this edition of Time to BS with Staniel Smooth and Jack. With that being said, we're coming to you Jack is coming to you from sunny California. I'm coming to you from the lovely beaches of Long Island, New York. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow the show for more stupidity. Because
ring the bell.
Hey! That was perfect. That'll do it from us, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to tune in for more shows, including BS Sessions and my other show I do with my fiance, Smoothly Baked. So with that being said, we're done for the day, and we will see you all in this life and most certainly the next one. Cheers, guys.